What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is part 1 of episode 5 of my saddle hunting series. And in this mini series of 4 videos, I'm going to discuss the different types of ascenders, how they work, and how to use them. If you're new to saddle hunting and you're just getting started picking out all your gear, you may not know or fully understand what an ascender is or what it does. So in this part, I will show you the basics as a whole, and the next 3 videos, I'm going to go into more detail and give a demo on how to use each type. So there are tons of options out there, but for the common saddle hunter, there's really only 3 types. You have your rope type friction hitches, you have your one-way ascenders, and you have two-way devices that allow you to ascend and descend. So in the saddle world, you have 3 very common friction hitches. The number 1 that you'll find is the Prusik Knot. The next one is going to be the Schwabisch. And the next is going to be the distal. The Prusik Knot is very commonly used on an adjustable bridge on a saddle, but the Prusik, the Schwabisch, and the distal can be great ways of ascending and descending from a tree. A friction hitch is generally achieved by tying a specific knot around your tether with either a continuous loop or a short piece of rope with eyes on each end. The 3 hitches I mentioned earlier are very similar in the way they're tied and the way they're controlled. As you can see here with this Prusik knot, it's tied around your tether and there is a loop where you can hook your carabiner. So as long as there's downward pressure on this loop, this knot is going to bind onto the rope and is not going to let it slide down unless there's pressure applied to the top of the knot. In part 2 of this series, I will show you how to tie each one of these 3 knots and how to control them while ascending. So the next type of ascender we're going to talk about is the mechanical one-way ascender. You've got the Kong duck, which is rated for 8mm to 13mm rope. You've got the Ropeman 1, which is rated for 10mm to 13mm rope. You've got the Ropeman 2, which is rated from 8mm to 13mm. And then you've got the Rolling Lock, which is also 8 to 13mm. With the SRT guys, you'll find a lot of hand ascenders, and those are very similar to the way these work, but I'm not going to cover those here. So the first 3 that I mentioned are very similar in size, and they work exactly the same way. They install around your tether, and then when downward force is applied and the rope tries to go back through the device, this cam binds up onto the rope, keeping it from sliding back down. So here I've got a Kong duck. So the way this works is the top end is connected to the tree. The Kong duck attaches to your tether, and then your carabiner clips to your bridge on your saddle. So there basically should always be downward pressure on your carabiner. So as you climb and you take pressure off of your tether, you take this end, pull it up, and it tightens up. You move up more, put slack into your tether, pull the slack out, and it keeps it from coming back down. Say you get to hunting height and you want to adjust it where you can back up off the tree a little bit. You pull this little loop here, it releases the cam, and you can slide it back down. So in part 3 of the series, I'm going to get all dressed up in my saddle and show you exactly how to install these and how to ascend with them. So next up, we've got two-way devices, and these can be mechanical and non-mechanical. For mechanical, we've got the Mad Rock Safeguard, we've got the Mad Rock Lifeguard, which is another version of this without a spring. You've got the Petzl Gree, and the Bill Birdie. For non-mechanical, you've got the Figure 8 and ATC devices. Non-mechanicals like Figure 8s and ATC devices are more commonly used for repelling devices. The only reason that I mention either of these is because they can be rigged up to be used as ascenders, but attempting to do so can be very cumbersome, and if not rigged correctly, can create a very disastrous situation for the climber. On the other hand, these are great devices for repelling, and I will be covering these in a video that I'll be doing on repelling devices. The main difference between using a one-way device and a two-way device is with a one-way device, you're going to use a tether or a lineman's belt to climb, and with the two-way device, you're going to be using your rappel line for ascending and descending. So the mechanical two-way devices essentially work exactly the same way as the mechanical one-way devices. When no weight is applied, the climber can move the device up the line, and as soon as weight is applied, the device binds onto the rope and keeps it from sliding back down. So with a two-way device, in addition to being able to ascend, you can also descend with the same device. In part 4 of this series, I'm going to go into greater detail and show you exactly how to use this in real time. Don't get me wrong, any of these devices or methods can fail. I strongly recommend that everyone do their own research and practice at ground level until they are 100% confident that they are rigged correctly and comfortable enough to climb with these methods. Make sure to subscribe so you get notifications when I upload the next 3 parts of this mini-series. Please comment if you have any questions or if there's anything specific you'd like to see. Hit that like button, share this video with your buddies. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time in Rob's Man Cave.